officially back with your weekly counseling stories. I am Shanina, and this story is brought to you by an elderly woman who was up in her 80s and 90s and coming to school or coming to college for the first time. She was an amazing woman. Learned so much from her in regards to her life, and the most interesting story from her as I got to know her was how she explained how she survived without electricity. Like, I can't even think how I would survive without a phone, Google, a light switch, a flushable toilet, things like that. I was much younger back then, so this story is about 9 years old. When I first met her, she was interested in taking one class just to get to know college. You know, she is just wanted to explore something new. Great. I should have asked her if she was familiar with using a computer, but in hindsight, I didn't think about that. So this story goes as this. So she sits down at the computer and she's asking me, oh, what is this? You know, isn't someone just going to just take a slip and enroll me in class? And I said, no, usually you can use online, but I can assist you in using a computer. That should have been a flag like, hey, maybe this lady doesn't know anything about a computer. No, Shanina just keeps going with the help. So then I said, hey, we're using the computer to enroll in class. That's what they sent you over here for. And so we're going to go ahead and use the mouse to click on the enroll button. She jumps up, jumps in the chair and jumps on the table. And I'm freaked out because she's jumping. And I'm like, why she's jumping for a mouse using the mouse? She thought mouse rodent, that I'm asking her to touch a rodent on the floor. And she proceeded to be like, what's wrong with you, lady? And I'm like, what's wrong with you? So we had a little bit of an exchange, like, we're talking a different language. And so after we understood, like, hey, I'm talking about this thing here is called a mouse. I'm not talking about mouse rodent. I would never ask you to touch a mouse rodent. So I had to say mouse rodent so that she knows that click, click. I said click, click, mouse, no mouse rodent. So after that, I proceeded to helping her enroll and then kind of like just doing some extra beyond stuff and just explaining, this is the mouse, this is the keyboard, this is the screen, the computer monitor, the computer, the brain of the computer, and how just kind of background knowledge, and just kind of helped her to kind of go through with that. And so there was some support that I can connected her with in the community, kind of help her out in using the computer, which was pretty helpful. But it was great to get to know her and her life, and to also know that I should ask the pre-question of, hey, have you ever used the computer before? So that I wouldn't have someone jumping up on the table while I'm trying to help her enroll in classes. I didn't even think she could move that fast, but she was moving. I would have moved that fast too if someone said it was a mouse. All right. Well, this concludes your counseling story. I hope all is well. See you next week.